We're on the line today with Mike Auger with Patriot Home Inspections, and we're talking about Radon Awareness. Mike, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hi, how's it going? Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, very good. Thank you.
Good to talk to you, Mike.
Same here, John. So what we're talking about today is Radon Gas. January is National Radon Awareness Month, so we're going to have a little educational information about Radon Gas. So, first, what is it? It is a radioactive gas. It is a little bit in everybody's home, probably.
Yeah.
And at high levels, it does cause the occupants to have a higher risk of lung cancer. According to the Department of Health, it is the number one cause of lung cancer among non-smokers. Number two, of course, smoking being the first cause of lung cancer.
Wow.
So it is a real hazard, and it is out there.
And it's naturally occurring. I mean, it comes from decay in the ground between rocks, correct?
You are correct. It's actually a byproduct decaying uranium underground. There's no way to know other than using specialized testing equipment or lab devices to detect it in the house. It's not something you can smell, taste, or see. So, and it can be anywhere. And there's no way to know based on your neighborhood or anything like that if the house is likely to have high radon, because it depends on the geology underneath your house.
And it varies. I mean, I've had homes that had it, and then homes right next door, I mean, like 50 feet away, that didn't. So absolutely.
Yeah, it can. There's really no way to know but just actually doing a test. We recommend, a lot of people don't really know what radon gas is. We do recommend it to our buyers. I know we're on a real estate show. It is usually part of the inspection agreement where you have the right to a home inspection and a radon gas test almost every time. So, I do recommend that buyers get that test done because you at least want to know what the level is in your home. It can be fixed. It's not something that just because the house has high radon, you should never move in there. There are effective systems that mitigate it. For radon in the air, usually you're at about $1,000 or $1,500, something like that, to fix the house. So it's not an insurmountable thing, and it's not something that necessarily means the house is bad. As far as the testing, they do make do-it-yourself kits. So if you're a homeowner and you're not buying or selling a house, you can buy a kit to do it yourself. But if you're in the middle of a real estate transaction, I would recommend that you use a licensed measurement consultant like myself to do the test. If you're trying to compel somebody to make a repair or concession, they're probably not going to be thrilled to see a do-it-yourself bad test.
No. I mean, it's like those water quality tests that you mail out. I mean, I think the timeliness of when it's tested, and I think of how it's handled, and I think anything can be affected. I mean, there's a ton of variables in there, and I would much rather have a professional do it,
Yeah, absolutely. There are different guys that do different types of tests. Some people leave a charcoal canister, and that'll be sent to a lab. We decided to use a continuous radon monitor, and that's actually a machine that sits there and it takes a reading every hour. It's tamper-proof, so it's harder for somebody to mess with the test, and you get a better result because you get to know what the level was every single hour during the period of the test.
Yeah, I mean, the canisters just seem so 1996.
Yeah, something like that.
And Mike, you can't have windows open, doors open, or whatnot, right? So someone like yourself that has the education to get the proper reading, should I say, right, is important to bring a guy like yourself in.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep the right conditions of the house, and you're correct there, John. You want closed house conditions. Now, it doesn't have to be airtight. You can go in and out just like you'd normally use the house, but you don't want to be ventilating the house. There's two things that can happen if you intentionally vent the house. In other words, if you open the doors and windows during the test period, you could vent the house and cheat the test and make it appear lower than it normally is, which some people think they're doing. It could backfire on you, though, because the radon is pulled out of the ground with differential air pressure. So if you open the windows and it happens to be a breezy day, you could lower the air pressure in your house and actually bring more radon into the house, cause yourself to have a false high result as well. And we're just about accuracy one way or the other.
Wow.
Good. And that's the things that the most common homeowners don't know. I mean, I didn't even know that.
No, I didn't know that either.
That's incredible. So having someone like Mike, take that test is definitely the way to go.
Well, totally. I mean, you could sell your house on your own, or you could hire a real estate agent to do the 183 steps in the process, and nobody just sells one house and is really great at it. It doesn't happen. I mean, unless you're selling to a family or a friend or somebody that's willing to bear with you. Crazy. So yeah, I would definitely. I actually, Mike just did my home inspection. Just had that radon machine out in the house I'm buying.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'd like to just bring up as a small part of it is, most radon problems in a house do come from radon gas. They penetrate through the basement. It doesn't make that much of a difference if you have a stone foundation, if you have like a historic home or a newer poured concrete foundation. The particles are very small, and again, they're driven into the basement by the air pressure like we just talked about.
Yeah.
But another way radon can get introduced into the home, if the house is on well water, the water can have radon in it. Now, radon doesn't hurt you to drink it, believe it or not. But when the water's aerated, like through the faucet or the shower or just splashing, the radon gas particles come out into the air, and they can actually elevate the level of the home there as well. So sometimes, if the home is on a well and the radon level in the air can't be mitigated through a traditional air system, then you might need to test the water as well to see if that's where your gas is coming from.
Yeah, we've actually seen that.
We do that as well.
Nice. Now, John, do you guys do you take care of that issue as well?
Yeah, we do. With Go Fix It, we handle most construction projects, but we do. We've got some great subcontractors that we work with that will take care of those systems and mitigate the radon. Absolutely.
Keep that in mind out there when you're on the road, Mike, because I know you're always referring some great contractors. You've referred quite a few over to me, and John with Go Fix It, they can take care of radon mitigation issues, I guess, in with the air and with the water.
Yeah, it's not, again, it's not something that, that means the house is bad. Once the system is installed, it is a permanent part of the house, and the house is safe again, so it's not a huge deal. But certainly, again, if you're buying a house, you want to know. The water mitigation systems can be a little bit more expensive. They can run a few $1,000 to several $1,000s. There are several different ways to take care of the water. But I always recommend test the air. If the air level is low and the house is occupied, then you're not getting enough residual from the water to spend the money on a water test.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically to kind of rehash the whole radon thing in a short, condensed spot, number one is the number one cause of lung cancer among non-smokers in America. Number two, you should test when you're buying a house so that you know the conditions of the home that you're buying.
Yep.
Can test at any point if you own a house and you've never got a test. Certainly, you don't have to do it in conjunction with a purchase of a home. So, if you've never had it tested, maybe have your home tested just to see. There are reasonable fixes that are very effective to fix elevated radon levels, and they're not terribly expensive, especially when you look at you're lowering your risk for lung cancer. So that's a big deal. And it is regulated by the Department of Health, both installers and measurement consultants. So it is a state license. You do have to have training, continuing education, and know what you're doing. So
awesome. Great points, Mike. Great. And you know what? This video is going to be on the roundtableradio.com. It'll be out in the middle of the week or so. So check back at the roundtableradio.com. You can check out the video blog of this segment. Mike, thanks for coming on the show. We love having you on here. Very informative. And Mike Auger, if you want to reach him direct, you can check out his website at homeinspectorri.com. Again, homeinspectorri.com, or you can call Mike directly. Mike, what's your number?
You can reach me directly at 401-578-4878.